Alright, 3v3 situation. The spike has been planted by the attacker side. Ray's ultimate comes out and goes on to Renee. He goes down. It's 2v3 situation. Jett also goes down. 1v3 situation. Does he do this? Doctor, no way he gets it. He gets 1 kill, 2 kills. Does he get a third? He gets a third. He gets a 1v3 clutch. Just like that. Unbelievable by Dr. Zor. He is insane. What is up, YouTube? It's Dr. Zor here, helping cure you from being a noob. I made a poll the other day asking you guys what video I should do next, rifle guide or sniper guide, and a lot of you guys said sniper, so we're gonna do that today. All right, I'm kidding, guys. Almost 99% of you guys said rifles, so here we go. We're gonna talk about how to use the rifles. This is probably the biggest guide you'll need because you'll be using rifles the most in your games. Besides the operator, rifles are the strongest weapons, and if your team has the money for it, they will probably buy it. So if you don't know how to use rifles, you will suck. So let's figure this out. Timestamps are in the description as always, and I know you guys will ask Phantom or Vandal. Stick to the end of the video and we're gonna give you a fantastic answer that you'll love to hear. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if it helped you out, and leave a comment on what you'd like to see next. Let's get it, baby. I'm going to talk about the spray patterns. So regardless of which rifle you use, the Bulldog, the Phantom, the Vandal, we will talk about the Guardian later. The biggest difference is the fire rate and the damage. So let's spray and see what happens. So spray goes up, there's maybe like one bullet that goes to the right, but then it's left, right from there. So what you want to do is the exact opposite of that. So again, with that one bullet, we won't pay too much attention to it, because if we overcompensate for that, then we end up kind of potentially messing up the other bullets as well. So in terms of like trying to correct the recoil, you want to just focus on going up, left, right as the pattern. So what we do, exact opposite of that. So first couple bullets, just pull straight down, and you can work on this first. Pulling straight down, try to get your bullets together, and then again it goes left, right, so you want to go right, left to counter it. So boom, right, left, and you see I overcompensate a little bit. We have some bullets over here that miss, bullets over there, so we can work on that. Try to give it another go and a little bit better, and then losing it a little bit at the end. So you don't want to do too much of a spray because there is a little bit of bloom that's involved as well. Now the key to mastering this is to really focus on controlling the spray pattern. So going in the middle of the target is a good way to do that, rather than actually looking at your crosshair. So if I try to look at my crosshair and let's say I missed the bullet here and I'm trying to compensate, okay, I'm at head level, I'm shooting, but look, my shots are not hitting them because the recoil is so high that it's going slightly above with the crosshair. So you want to think counter the spray pattern, not try to control the crosshair. If we practice that, we're good to go, right? Not quite. So one more thing is there is some bloom involved once the spray starts going, which kind of messes up this pattern. So if I try to spray from here to this wall and just try to control it, you can see these little fluctuations. That is the bloom right there. I'm trying to control the pattern by going right, left, just like I said, but there is some bloom involved once the spray pattern kind of starts moving, and then it becomes less predictable. So there are videos out there that can show you how you can predict this bloom, which is basically looking at the gun barrel, and if the gun barrel moves to the left, that means recoil is going to the left. If it goes to the right, that means recoil is going to the right. And you can practice all you want in the aim training, you know, aiming. Okay, let's look at the barrel. Okay, right, okay, left, right, oh, left, okay, gotta compensate there. But you take your eyes completely out of the crosshair. So what's the point of doing that? So it's a cool gimmick to really know about, but not really able to apply in game. Because why would you be watching your gun while you're shooting when you actually want to be looking at the enemy and looking at the crosshair and controlling that instead? Alright, so how to actually shoot. Because there's bloom after the first 10 or so bullets, what you want to do is practice single firing and shooting bursts and stopping when the recoil starts to flare left and right. With these bullets, you know exactly where your shots are going to get to, and you can simply pull down the trigger to control the recoil. Close range, you can probably get away with the spray, but further away, like mid range or so, you want to do bursts of about 10. Otherwise, again, it starts to go crazy, and we don't want that. We don't want to rely on bloom to get us the kill. So close range, you can do a little bit of a spray maybe. Mid-range, do some bursts, 3 to 10 bullets or so to try to get the kill. And if you're really long range, then you want to do again 3 bullet bursts maybe, and then moving every time you do those bursts. So maybe you did a burst, you didn't get the guy, move a little bit so the enemy has to change where they're shooting, and then burst again. Burst, burst, move, burst, move, burst, move, burst. just like that. You could also do single firing as well if you're in long range, if that feels more comfortable for you. Personally, I kind of bring it down to feel. So sometimes I'm feeling it, I'll hit some bursts, you know, 2 or 3 bullets and get the kills like that. Sometimes I'm feeling the 1 taps, so I can do maybe one or 2 taps and then move. And again, keeping the enemy moving their crosshair as well by moving as when you move. So doing that, doing those taps, and again, kind of by feel whether you want to do the bursts or do the taps. And if you're just starting out, to use a more dynamic crosshair so that you know kind of when the recoil pattern resets and when you're moving and when you stop, when you're shooting is going to be more accurate. So if we go into our settings here, go into crosshair, go into our inner lines and hit movement error and firing error and turn those on. Now when we move, you can see how big the crosshair is, and that's when you know you're not going to be accurate if you shoot. So you want to wait for that to reset and then boom, hit them like that, boom. Move around again, boom, reset, reset, wait for that crosshair to reset before you shoot. Just like that. And that's how you really gotta get used to the timing of when the recoil happens. And then that's gonna help with the burst tremendously so that you're not inaccurate. Alright, so now working on movement. So now that you got the spray pattern down and we're starting to figure out ranges and different bursts that you can do, what options do you have for movement? You have 2 basic options. One is to not move at all and shoot. And this is personally what I have been preferring, but I've seen many pros and I've seen it in the comments as well. I know you guys, you CSGO guys are giving me some bash for this, discussing about crouching and shooting. So crouch shooting is a very good option. If we look at our crosshair standing versus if we crouch, you can see the crosshair just gets that little bit narrower. So it gives you a little bit more accuracy when we're shooting. And that's the difference between an extra 1 or 2 bullets that can be accurate when you're doing your spray patterns, and that could be the difference between getting the kill and not getting the kill. So a lot of pros prefer this, and it also makes, again, the enemy have to adjust their aim as well. If they're aiming headshot level, but then you're crouch, they have to adjust their aim to mid body to get you. So it's a 2-trick pony. You get some better accuracy, and you make the enemy have to adjust their aim as well. So it's really good. I haven't done it a lot myself personally, so a lot of people haven't bashed me for it, but now I have put it in the tips, so you guys can't bash me anymore. I have it in here. Do note though that if you do crouch, you have to adjust your crosshair as well. So if we're ahead of level and we crouch, we have to adjust our aim a little bit to try to get the kill. So do make note of that. It is a pretty easy adjustment once you get used to it, so it's not a too big of a deal, but you do have to note that you will have to adjust your crosshair a little bit, or get used to aiming a little bit lower and then just having it line up afterwards. If you look at the spray pattern again, and just look at those first few bullets, your first 3 shots are pretty darn accurate. So you actually don't really have to do anything too big for those first few shots. They're pretty darn accurate. And again, this is why bursting is so powerful. So if you want to go a step further though, with the crouch shooting, you can do 3 bullets and then shoot and crouch afterwards. So if we do that, it actually controls some of the bullets for us. So again, 3 shots and then crouch, and you get another couple of bullets that are right on target, and you didn't even have to pull down or anything with your mouse. You just simply shoot a couple bullets and then crouch and let it do the work for you. And then after a couple shots, you do have to pull down a little bit. So this is the kind of the ultimate way to kind of aim. And if you look at some of these clips here, Hiko does exactly that. He shoots a couple bullets and then he crouch shoots and lets that take over the recoil, and then he pulls down if he needs to. And then he crouches again and lets the crouch do again the recoil control for him. And this is a very smart way to aim. Again, more accurate bullets help with your recoil control and forces the enemy to adjust their crosshair to kill you. Unless the enemy has really poor crosshair placement and they're aiming at mid body, maybe this isn't a good idea, but at other higher levels of play, this is definitely the way to go in the long run. One more time to show you guys again, 3 bullet bursts, crouch, and then start pulling down a little bit afterwards. Let the crouch kind of do some of the work for you, and then pull down afterwards. Boom, just like that. And this is going to be the ultimate way to aim and outplay your enemy. Alright, so talking about the Guardian, we're going to run through it pretty quickly. Essentially, it's kind of a one-tap god. It's very viable when you're kind of not having enough money, you want to buy some abilities, but you don't want to spend 2,900 on the Phantom or Vandal. This is a pretty good option that you can have. And it does pretty good body damage too. No armor, 2 shots. With armor, it takes about 3 shots. If we look at the damage here, 65 body damage. So 2 shots, no armor, 3 shots if they have light or if they have heavy armor. So that's really good. The issue with this gun though is the recoil. So the recoil is very high and it takes a long time to reset. If we go back here and we try to spray, and it takes, look at how long it takes for the recoil to reset. We go maximum again, let it reset. It takes about a second to shoot. So the recoil is very high, takes a long time to reset, usually more than you think. So if you're at far range and spamming left click, you're gonna be very inaccurate. What you want to do, again, dynamic crosshair, very important for this. Tap, let it reset, tap, let it reset, tap, let it reset, tap, let it reset. And you're gonna get much better results for that. So the gun's pretty good for close range. You can get the headshots a little bit easier. So very viable at this range. Even if you don't get the headshot, they're pretty close that you could get a body shot. And just one or two of those still gets a kill done pretty quickly. And then long range, going again, one tap at a time, and then reset. Tap, reset, tap, move, reset, and then get your taps like that. Just like that. So if you are long range and spamming left click, you're not going to be accurate. You have to take your time. Like if I try to spam this guy, let's go all the way here. And just like that. See, we got a little lucky on the first guy, but then on the second guy, trying to aim on that guy, the recoil is wild here. You can see I got a lucky shot there, but I'm not going to be accurate at all if I try to spam like so. Aim down sight. If the enemy is further away, do you want to aim down sight and try to kill them with this way? And I would suggest, it's very tempting to do this, but I would suggest you don't do this at all. If you aim down sights, the firing rate is slower. See, if we aim no sights, hip firing, listen to that, versus if we did aiming down sights, it's a little bit slower. So you lose rate of fire there. And to be honest, once you practice enough, you'll get used to just aiming hip fire at long ranges. And the rate of fire is so big when you're playing a game. Just those extra bullets that you get are so crucial. So I would suggest just trying to practice long range hip firing instead of aiming down sights. Plus, from my personal experience, when I try to aim down sights, the recoil feels a little bit muggier. You might not have this problem, but I found it to be a little bit harder to control. So I've just been liking hip firing. You keep the rate of fire, you have to kill them faster. So I would just practice that. Guardian, it's a little bit of a different story because you are tapping them in single fire, so it can be a pretty viable option for that. If you're going long range with the Guardian, it's a pretty decent option. But again, all the other guns, I would not suggest it. Alright, so practice routine. So now that I know all these concepts, how do I practice? I'm going to give you a very simple routine in the shooting range that's going to help you out. And all it takes is 10 minutes before you go into your games every day, and you'll start to see improvement very quickly as each day goes by. So the first routine you're going to do is the crosshair placement. So you want to be at headshot level at all times. So you're going to work on this with bots by trying to hit your one taps. So slowly aiming, getting the head, boom, boom, just like that. Nice and smooth. You can start off nice and slow, and again, make sure that you're moving the whole time, because in real games you're not just going to sit around and do this. So you want to actually mimic the play, mimic the movements that you would do in game. Move, stop, shoot, move, stop, shoot, move, stop, shoot, and then work on that. So go ahead and spawn 100 bots and just work on doing your tracing of the heads and progressively going faster each time you do it. Second drill you want to do is the burst practice. So you're not going to get the one tap every single time. Sometimes your aim is going to be a little bit off. So you want to start learning the spray and just doing little bursts, 3 bullets or so, to try to get your kills that way. And this guarantees that, you know, your second and third bullets can kind of compensate if you were to kind of make an error and miss the first bullet. So again, 100 bots on these, keeping yourself moving the whole time. And just working on little bursts. Like so, you can go a little bit further to challenge yourself again. So you can do 100 bots in this range, and then go back, do a little bit longer range. So again, when you're longer range, you really want to do single fires or bursts. So this is when it becomes really applicable. Then you want to do these little burst fires, and to kill your enemies that way. Lastly, we're going to work on our flicks. So there are going to be times when you maybe are aiming here, but the enemy pops up randomly and you have to adjust quickly. So what I want to do for this drill is again get those 100 bots going and then just work on getting your flicks. So I'd say start at the middle pillar here and just work on moving around, flicking around at enemies, and just working on that, getting that nice and quick. And work on doing this Again, this is for if there's enemies that pop up randomly, they just try to go, again, try to aim as fast as you can, try to get the flicks and work on that. And you eventually develop some muscle memory where you can just kind of figure out how much you have to actually move your aim to get your shots on the player. Alright, and the last drill that you want to do is practicing your angles. So there's a lot of different angles that people are going to play, and you want to kind of predictably set your crosshair placement for where you think they're going to go. So I think a guy's going to pop up here. So I want to stay pretty far from the wall because it does limit my vision, so they can kind of see me a little bit better if I stay really tight to the wall and adjust like this. So what I want to do is stay, you know, a feet or two away from there, with whatever that means in gaming language, and just kind of work on getting that, giving yourself space to fully be able to see the enemy and not have this corner be in the way, blocking your sight. So what you want to do for this drill is kind of go through a map and just kind of go through common angles. Like if you were pushing on attacker side, we're hitting A bomb site, first angle I want to check is here, boom, kind of work on that, just getting your crosshair placement there, boom, okay, we got that. Might be a guy ramp, so now again, staying not close to the wall, but slightly away. And then, you know, it might be a guy to the right here, package your peaks here. Okay, maybe we were smoked off a little bit at the beginning, we can't see anything, so what we want to do here is wait for the smoke to fade, and then we want to peek this angle right here. So a common thing we do is clear this, boom, this, boom, this, boom. Maybe there's going to be a guy to the left too that you can clear, so a bunch of angles that you want to check for. And just work on getting your crosshair placement. If they're there, shoot them. And just kind of go around the map. Maybe we push through here where we're in ramp. There could be a guy here, peeking to the left here, then peeking to the right. Okay, clear that. Maybe there's someone boxes. Just work on crosshair placement like so. Just kind of going through the map and just going through common areas and just kind of doing these little peeks. You never want to expose yourself like here. You never want to go wide and then expose the entire map. If there's like one guy here, you're gonna be dead. You want to peek on one at a time, clear that. You know, maybe there's a guy here, boom, here, and just go nice and easy, slowly peeking by and clearing angles one by one. And this just applies to every single gun you use, not just the rifle solely. Just focusing on different common angles that people are going to be at and making sure your crosshair placement is there. So taking pretty much everything that we applied, the first step, crosshair placement, getting a headshot level. You know, maybe I'm aiming here and I'm trying to go here and I'm just looking at it, but there's an enemy that's sneaking here. This is not a common angle. So again, there's the flick practice, boom, trying to get them there, boom, if they're over there. So that's where the flick practice comes in. So we're taking everything in here, working on the crosshair placement, working on the flicks. Maybe someone's here, boom, boom. We're gonna flicks and then smooth tracing, getting all these 3 steps and putting it all together. Alright, and lastly we're gonna go over the age-old question everyone's been asking, Phantom or Vandal. And to be honest, there's not a clear answer for it. The Phantom has a higher firing rate, but it does have damage drop off at different ranges, versus the Vandal has same damage at all ranges but a slower firing rate. So for me personally, if you're feeling it and you're feeling really good about your shots, go for the Vandal and do that. If you're feeling a little bit off, switch over to the Phantom. It has a higher firing rate, so it's a little bit more forgiving if you miss your bullets. So basically, depending on how you're feeling is how you're going to determine which one you're going to use. Feeling a little bit off, go for the Phantom. Feeling good, go for the Vandal. That's all I have for this video. If it helped you out, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see from me next. I know a lot of you guys are new players, so I want to get you guys prepared for what Valorant brings to the table. So let me know what's up. Do you need help with aim? Do you want some more aim tips? Leave them all in the comments below. Again, I stream on Twitch every weekend, so make sure to follow that. Follow my other socials on Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All that's in the description. I'm Dr. Zora, helping carry you from being a noob, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.